Hi, my name is Barrington Miller, and this is an issuer update. Today, I am here with Juan Carlos Giron Jr., Senior VP Capital Markets for EnviroGold Global Limited. Welcome to the issuer update.
Thanks, Barrington.
So we're going to talk a little bit about what your company does in case our listeners and audience didn't catch any newly listed clips or haven't seen podcasts. Tell us what it is you do.
Yeah, absolutely. So EnviroGold Global is a clean technology that uses a combination of proprietary and state-of-the-industry technology to reprocess mine waste, also known as tailings, and recover precious, critical, and strategic metals. It's a play on the circular economy. It's capitalizing environmental stewardship. There's about 300 billion metric tons of mine tailings around the world, about $3.4 trillion worth of unrecovered metals residing in those mine tailings. So we deploy modular, scalable reprocessing systems to each site. We optimize site-specific solutions for metal recovery and environmental remediation. We recover precious, critical, and strategic metals. We've got 8 major projects in our pipeline and growing.
Where are most of those projects located?
The 2 major projects we have under definitive binding agreements, one is in Newfoundland, Canada, in the Buckens region, and one is in Australia. We're also looking at additional projects in Canada. We're also looking at projects in Mexico.
Now, as this is an issuer update, I was taking a look at the chart and I noticed that there was a little bit of a rise from earlier this year. Could you speak a little bit towards that, and if it was more of the operations or industry as a whole, or maybe it's a sweet combination of both?
Look, we do think that we're sort of, at the sort of seeing a perfect storm for metals companies, right? But absolutely, if it were sort of my assessment, I would say that it really is a result of the results that we've achieved this year. So you mentioned our stock price in December was around 30 cents. Today, we're around 40 cents. We've actually hit a high of up to 60 cents. So we've seen a tremendous amount of momentum in the stock, that coming on higher than usual volume. We've been building the company for 2 years. We've just started telling our story. Major catalysts for us recently. First of all, we signed the Australia project to a definitive binding commercial agreement. That's a major project. About 600,000 ounces of gold, 23 million ounces of silver indicated in a 2020 JORC technical report there, those metals contained in the tailings. We think that is a tremendous project. We expect to be in commercial metal production fourth quarter this year, first quarter next year at that site. It's permitted and ready to go. So we think the market's really been paying attention to that project. We've also announced an independent geophysics study for our Buckens River Delta project. That geophysics study has shown significant additional tailings in what we are calling the Western Arc. There's some historical data there that shows a significant mineral resource there with respect to the tailings that were previously identified and drilled by ASARCO in the 80s. We think that our geophysics study indicates the potential to double that resource data that was generated back in the 80s. So very exciting there. We've also announced that our exploration project for the Buckens River Delta has been approved by the regulators. Our senior leadership team, Dr. Mark Thorpe, and our executive vice president were in the Buckens Delta not too long ago, meeting with key stakeholders and ministers. We have a lot of support there. Not only are we cleaning up a salmon spawning ground and ultimately producing significant profits, we believe, from the recovery of the metals that are left behind in the tailings, but also we're revitalizing an area that's relatively depressed economically. We're bringing in new jobs. So it's a fantastic story that kind of hits on really the E and the S of the ESG components that we're fundamentally aligned with. Additional major catalysts for us, we've also announced some significant metallurgical results for our proprietary flow sheet for the Australia project. I mentioned the 600,000 ounces of gold, about 23 million ounces of silver there. We've announced that our proprietary flow sheet for the project has delivered 80% approximately gold recovery and about 90% silver recovery. So huge opportunity there. All of that data being validated by Core Resources, which is a leading independent metallurgical group based in Brisbane, Australia.
Wow, that is a chock amount full of education and information, and we really appreciate it. You did mention a couple things. One, for our audience, the York Report is the equivalent of the 43101 here on this side of the world. And two, you talked about three little magical letters, which are getting buzzed around. ESG. Judging by your background, and you seem to have a very environmental sense about you as well as the company. Can you just touch upon a little bit about the ESG part of your business? Just a teaser, because I think there might be another interview that our audience can find related to Earth Day, but I'll turn it over to you, Juan.
Absolutely. Yeah. Our company was founded fundamentally with the vision of accelerating the world's transition to a circular resource economy. So we're literally turning trash into treasure by recovering precious, critical, and strategic metals from mine waste. We expect to do so very profitably, generating substantial returns for our shareholders. And we believe that we're fundamentally aligned with the principles of environmental stewardship, positive social impact, and transparent governance. There's a lot of greenwashing that can take place nowadays. ESG can become something of a buzzword. But again, we're really focusing on turning waste into a resource. And we think that's a major differentiator for us.
Perfect. We're not going to give anything else away regarding the ESG and how it fits into the Earth Day coming up. But Juan Carlos, I just want to say thank you on behalf of the Canadian Securities Exchange for giving us this issuer update. I've been your host, Barrington Miller, and we'll see you on the next episode.